Guys, welcome to Hoops Junction. Today I'm going to be breaking down the 10 reasons why it sucks to play in the NBA. And I know you're thinking, it never sucks to play in the NBA. You're getting paid to do what you love the game, everything is great, you get paid, you're famous, you do what you love. But there are some downsides to playing in the NBA which a lot of people don't discuss or they don't understand. Number one, in the NBA, you don't have one boss, you have 30 bosses. Okay? The NBA is basically set up owners against players. There are 30 owners, 30 teams. The players don't play for one owner, they play for 30 owners. You got to understand that due to the collective bargaining agreement and the way that the owners meet every year, they decide policy, not just your one owner. You know what I'm saying? You're not dealing with one boss. You're dealing with 30. It's hard enough to deal with one boss or one general manager. When you got to deal with all 30, it's ridiculous. You know, there's certain reasons and certain things that are put into play because one owner doesn't think it's fair, or maybe 20 owners don't think it's fair. So they have to do what's best for the league. The league is pretty much the owners because they're putting up all the money. They're taking on all the risk. So you have 30 bosses. It's not one boss. It's not one GM you have to deal with. You know, there's certain things that they have to do that all the owners are like saying, you know, okay, we want this to be done this way, and you just have to go with it. So it's not one person making a decision for you, it's 30 other people, which is ridiculous. Number two, you get disciplined. You get disciplined like a child. When you play in the NBA, they treat you like a child. You know, if you say something that they don't like, guess what? You get a fine. If you have an opinion about a ref, you get a fine. You might get suspended a game. If you take a picture somewhere or they see you somewhere that they don't deem appropriate, guess what? You're going to get hit with a fine. You know, there was an old basketball player. His name was Jason Williams. He played on New Jersey Nets. He was convicted of killing someone at his home, if you ever remember. And he told a story where he got into a fight and he was not in the wrong. And when the police report, the police said that, you know, he was in the right for what he did. He defended himself. And guess what? The NBA called him the very next day. He had to go to the commissioner's office. And the commissioner had to say, guess what? You're suspended for these 3 games. And even though Jason Williams did nothing wrong, he defended himself. He got thrown through a glass window or whatever the case may be. He got dinged for it, which makes no sense. So they discipline you like a child. They put you on some kind of higher moral standard than anybody else, which is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. You know, it's funny to see, you know, people that are adults have a bunch of daddies, you know, or the big daddy is the commissioner, which, you know, helps enforce the policy, and he calls them to the office, you know, like you're like a little kid. Remember when you're a little kid, you know, you got in trouble, so you got to go to the principal's office? Well, these NBA players are going to the principal's office daily. Number 3, negotiations. Negotiations suck for NBA players. I mean, they don't know how to negotiate in the first place. Everybody's used to when they work, they just get a steady paycheck. They tell you what they're willing to pay, and you take it. Or they give you an offer, you take it. It's different in the NBA. NBA, you have to negotiate. And when you negotiate, you hire people called agents. And those agents, they tend to be looking out for what's in their best interest. So sometimes, yes, they will inflate a contract. Sometimes they'll say somebody's worth some kind of money when they're really not. Like Tristan Thompson, they say he's worth max money. You know, if he were to get a max contract, it will put a lot of pressure on him to perform, which will be indicated in his play, and his play would suffer. And that's what happens to a lot of NBA players. Like a lot of NBA players, they get like hundreds of $1 million deals. You know, like James Harden, like Dwight Howard, those players, they get these major deals. And if something doesn't happen, if they don't perform correctly, then, you know, the onus is on them. And people only cite the money. They only say, well, you know, he's not worth this money. And that's the problem with negotiations. Like, nobody is ever really happy, especially the players, because either they get overpaid and now they have all these expectations, or they get underpaid and they're still expected to do, like, the best. You know, they still expected to perform miracles on the court, you know. Like, if you think about LeBron James, he's severely underpaid. You know, he's been underpaid for a long time, and people still say, like, no, I don't care, he's supposed to do this. He scored 40, no, he should go for 50. He scored 50, he should have went for 60. He won 2 titles, no, he should have won all 4. He should have won all 5. There's just a lot of expectations. and it's basically because the players don't know how to negotiate, and it's just due to a lack of education and negotiations. You're hiring these agents. All these agents want to do is fatten their pockets. They don't care about you. They don't care about your family. They just care about getting the most money. All right. Number 4. The fourth reason why it sucks to play in NBA is your friends and family change. You either gain a whole bunch of new friends, you gain a whole bunch of new family, and they're looking at you like an ATM. They know when you get paid. They know how you spend your check, and they begin to look at you less of a person and more of an ATM. And at that point, your relationship might as well sever it, because all they're gonna continue to come to you with is problems. They need money for this. They need money for that. You only find like maybe a few friends that are really close to you anymore. Number 5, taxes suck. NBA players get taxed out the wazoo. And just to give you a little idea, they get taxed up to 60% of their income. So people that work normally, they only get taxed about 40% of their income. So imagine making $100 million and you're only able to keep 40% of that. Or just imagine making $1 million and you're only able to keep $400,000. So that's what NBA players are up against. And when you see them sign all those deals, those $1 million deals, they don't get all the millions you think they get. Based on where they live and the market that they play in, and the way that taxes are divvied up, they're only getting 40% back of that. So I mean, why do you think most athletes are Republican? I mean, once they see all them Uncle Sam taking stuff out of their check, they don't want to be a Democrat anymore. I mean, it's ridiculous. 60% of your income getting taxed. It's ridiculous. The number 6 reason why people do not want to play in the NBA, or why it sucks, going broke. The thing is, NBA, about 60% of players go broke after they're done playing. After 5 years of retirement, they go broke. 60%. That's more than half. I mean, it's ridiculous. And all of this is just because due to a lack of financial education. Most NBA players, they rack up liabilities. They buy cars, clothes, jewelry. They buy fake boobs for their girlfriend. They buy new cars for their friends. They buy fake butts for their girlfriends. They buy, rings, diamonds, jewelry. All these things are liabilities. And after 5 years of no income anymore, no steady income from getting your checks in the NBA, the guys go broke. And we criticize the hell out of them for going broke. But it's funny because there's some of us now that are broke and we don't make millions. So like the analogy I'm trying to make is if you're broke now, imagine getting millions of dollars and still acting the way that you act now. You will still go broke then. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just due to a lack of financial education. The number 7 reason why it sucks to play the NBA is you're not allowed to be human. You're not allowed to have real emotions. You're not allowed to say anything out of the ordinary. You're not allowed to say how your political views are. They just want you to shut up and play basketball. There's a lot of times where NBA players, their friends and family die, and all you can hear is, well, I don't know when the next time he's going to play a game. I mean, who cares about that? They just tell you that their friend or their family member died, and all you can talk about is their next game. You should be saying, my condolences. Another thing is, a lot of players, they have to decide like big events. Like, for example, Chris Bosh was having a child, and he had to decide, is he going to play in the game, or is he going to stay with his child at the hospital? You know what I'm saying? Like, these are decisions that you and I normally, if we're having a kid, it doesn't matter where we are, we're going to be there for our kid. You know what I'm saying? But these guys have to make that decision because, hey, if they don't play in this playoff game while they're having this child, if they lose the game, then people will blame them. So it's really sucky. Like, you're not allowed to be human. Number 8 reason. We're on 8. Bear with me. We're almost done here. Number 8 is the travel. Travel in the NBA is grueling. I mean, it wears down on your body. A lot of times when you see players have bad games, all it is because they had to travel, right after another game. It's because they were in 5 cities and 6 nights. You know what I'm saying? Like, they had to get on the plane, they had to get on the bus, they had to get on the train. Train, planes, automobiles, that's all these guys live on. And it sounds great until you're actually living on the road. And if you ever ask somebody that lives on the road, a truck driver a performer, they like to go on they tour, things of that nature. It sucks. When you're on the road, you're driving. Just think about a long road trip that you've ever been on, but multiply that by 100 or 2/3 of your year. These players are on the road for 2/3 of the year, so it's really sucks. It really sucks. It's bad. The number 9 reason why it sucks: obligations outside of basketball. These NBA players are expected to be model citizens, ladies and gentlemen, and that means participating in all the NBA initiatives. Now, I don't know about you, but if I had millions of dollars, I wouldn't want somebody telling me, well, guess what? Today, you don't get to have a day off. Today, I need you to go read some cue cards for me. Today, I need you to go paint a park for me. Today, I need you to go shake some hands. I need you to kiss some babies. Tomorrow, I'm going to need you to go to this event. Thursday, I'm going to need you to do this. And it's, when you think about millions of dollars, you think about being, what you call it. You think about being independent. You think about, I wake up and I do what I want when I want. But these NBA players cannot do that because they have obligations, major obligations to the league. And it's not about the obligations to people. Those things are normal, like your friends, your family will have obligations to those people. But when you have to have obligations because the commissioner says this is what we're doing, I mean, it's really a pain in the ass. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe it's like a day that, normally like a Saturday or a Sunday that it'll be like your day off, or like, our days off. You got to get up and go do something. You got to get on a plane and go somewhere because somebody's telling you to. But you got to remember, you're still an employee. And the 10th reason why it sucks, 10th and final reason why it sucks to play in NBA is just this: the comparisons and the expectations. People compare you to everybody. Once you get in the league, you're either the next Jordan, you're the next LeBron, you're the next Kobe, you're the next Shaq. You're never the next you. There's so many comparisons that is ridiculous and it's redundant. Like, everybody that comes in the league was supposed to be like the next Jordan. There will never be another Jordan. There will never be another LeBron. There will never be another Kobe. There'll never be the same person again. People have to get over that, but they never do. And those are the comparisons you have to deal with. Now think about a regular job. Nobody says, well, the last guy we had here, he did this, he did that. They never insult you in that way. But in the NBA, you're always getting insulted in that way. And their expectations are crazy. There are many teams in NBA that just can't win a NBA championship. I would say right now there's probably maybe 4 teams that could win an NBA championship. You know what I'm saying? And just me saying that means there's 26 other teams that cannot win a championship, but all of their fans have this convoluted, story in their minds like, no, we need to win a championship. No, we could do this. We could win. No, we have this person. We have that person. Even like the worst team, you know what I'm saying? Like, if it's like the Timberwolves, like a diehard Timberwolves fan, they'll say, even though, we're young and, we don't have that much depth, I think if we get into the playoffs, we could definitely make a run. Like even Philly fans, like, just if Okafor just plays a little bit better and our guard plays a little bit better, I think we could make it to the playoffs. I think we could turn this around. I mean, sometimes you just can't turn it around. Your expectations are not realistic. And I hate that word, but I have to use it in this case. It's just not realistic. It's okay to admit that your team cannot win. It's okay because a lot of teams can't win. Right now, I have 26 that can't win. So, that being said, people have to taper the expectation. But NBA, the way that it's modeled to you and it's marketed to you, the expectations are always high because that's what they use to drive, their revenue. But those are the 10 reasons. Let me know if you think this is crazy. Let me know if you think it would never suck to play in NBA. But those are the things that I think that would just plain old suck. And you see it every day. Just watch an NBA broadcast and you'll see all those things come into play. And the things that players are saying, the way that they're acting, and the way that people treat them. This is Vlad from Hoops Junction, where hoops meets hoopla.